Each year, approximately 2.4 million Brits develop food poisoning, which can come from eating uncooked food, rotten products, or from bacterial contamination. Most will recover within days without any help, but Primrose Freestone, a senior lecturer in clinical microbiology at the University of Leicester, has noted that not everyone is so lucky. Nottinghamshire Live reports that the expert said in the conversation, "As a microbiologist, I'm probably more acutely aware of the risk of foodborne infections than most." Picnics and BBQs. Primrose said, "Here are some of the things I look out for. I rarely eat al fresco, whether picnics or barbecues, as the risk of food poisoning goes up when food is taken outdoors." The expert noted that keeping your hands clean is important when it comes to not getting sick, but she asked people, "How often do you find hot running water and soap in a park or on a beach?" Primrose advised using alcohol hand gels as they are better than nothing, but these gels will not destroy all germs. She added, "Also, food tends to attract an array of flying and crawling critters, such as flies, wasps and ants, all of which can transfer germs, including E. coli, Salmonella and Listeria, to your food. To avoid these illnesses, you can keep your perishable food cold and covered to avoid a buildup of bacteria, and to cook meat thoroughly if you are having a barbecue." The expert told people not to eat meat if its internal temperature is less than 70 C. Buffets. Primrose noted that knowing what conditions that bacteria tends to bloom in food is important, as she herself is very mindful of the microbiological safety of hot and cold buffet displays. The expert added, "Indoors, food can be exposed to contamination from insects, dust and above all, people. Food poisoning is, therefore, an inevitable risk when dining at a buffet. Food can be contaminated by people touching the food, and potentially coughing and sneezing near the buffet." Primrose explained, "Even indoors, one must consider contamination by insects, such as flies or wasps, settling on the uncovered food. Also, germs may be deposited from the air, which is rich in bacteria, fungi and viruses. Perishable food also has a time limit on how long it can be eaten for, as Primrose explained, I always look at the clock when I'm at a buffet as there is a 2-hour catering rule. Perishable food will become unsafe to eat within 2 hours if not kept covered and refrigerated. The problem is buffets tend to be laid out before you arrive, so it is difficult to tell if the platters of cooked meat, seafood, salads, desserts and appetizingly arranged fruit and vegetables will have been sitting for more than 2 hours when you come to eat them." When it comes to hot buffets, Primrose tends to avoid lukewarm food as food poisoning is much more likely when food is kept at less than 60 C. If you are unsure if any of the food is at a sufficient temperature, the expert advises that you breakfast on freshly toasted bread and individually packaged marmalade. Oysters. Primrose noted that there are some foods she will never touch, and raw shellfish like oysters is one of those foods she will avoid. She said this is because oysters are filter feeders and can have germs like Vibrio and norovirus hidden inside them. The expert noted that while there is no difference in taste, smell or look of a contaminated oyster, but it can still make you extremely unwell. Primrose noted, the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention estimates that about 80,000 people get Vibrio infections from raw oysters, and in the U.S. alone 100 people die from vibriosis each year. It is also possible to pick up food poisoning from eating any raw shellfish, clams, mussels, whelks, cockles. I only eat shellfish that are well cooked because heat effectively kills harmful germs. Bagged salads. One thing that Primrose won't ever touch is a bagged salad, as one of her main research areas is fresh salad safety. The research has found that bagged lettuce can contain food poisoning germs such as E. coli, Salmonella and Listeria. Primrose noted, "My research group has found that these pathogens grow more than 1,000 times better when given juices from salad leaves, even if the salad bag is refrigerated." Worryingly, the same germs use the salad juices to become more virulent, and so better at causing an infection. The expert said that anyone worried about this research can be reassured that most bagged salads are safe to eat if they are stored refrigerated, washed well before use. Even ready-to-eat salad should be washed, and eaten as soon as possible after buying it. Cooking practices. The university lecturer has a list of do's and don'ts when it comes to food practices. For perishable foods, check use-by dates regularly. However, if it is before the expiry date and the food package looks swollen, or when opened the food looks or smells different than expected, chuck it out. Never use the same chopping boards for raw and cooked foods. Wash hands before and after handling food. Never reheat cooked rice, as uncooked rice can contain spores of Bacillus cereus, a food poisoning germ, which can appear if cooked rice is left to sit. Dining out. Primrose has noted that having a high level of awareness for food safety has caused her to be first in line for buffets when eating out, as she is also cautious about eating from breakfast bars, and to watch the clock for how often perishable food is replaced. She also never collects doggy bags of food leftovers, as they have usually exceeded the 2-hour time limit. Primrose concluded, "The benefits of being a microbiologist are that we know how to avoid food poisoning and, in return, people have confidence our cooking is very safe to eat." Don't miss the latest news from around Scotland and beyond. Sign up to our daily